"She married a mute man for money one day," he whispered, 3 words that changed everything. Clara sat before the lawyer, her hands trembling as she signed the contract. The pen felt heavy in her grasp, the weight of her conscience pressing down on her like a silent accusation. "Are you sure about this?" Ava, her best friend, had asked the night before. "Marrying a man you've never even spoken to, for money?" Clara had scoffed, forcing a nonchalant shrug. "It's just a contract, Ava. A year of marriage and I'll walk away with a fortune, no strings attached." Yet, as she stood before Lucas Blackwood, the enigmatic billionaire who had lost his voice in a tragic accident, something inside her wavered. His solemn grey eyes held an intensity she couldn't quite define. A quiet storm, a restrained plea. His silence was deafening, his presence commanding. Lucas only communicated through short notes, neatly written in bold, deliberate strokes. "Thank you for agreeing to this arrangement," he had scribbled on their wedding day. It was supposed to be simple, a business deal. She would attend social events by his side, uphold the illusion of a devoted wife, and in return she would secure a future free from financial struggles. But life in the Blackwood estate was not what she expected. Lucas was not the cold, detached man she had imagined. He was thoughtful in ways that left her breathless. Every morning she found tea prepared just the way she liked it. On stormy nights, an extra blanket appeared at her door. When she fell sick, he sat beside her, his gentle touch a silent comfort. The boundaries blurred. Clara caught herself watching him when he wasn't looking, longing for something that had never been part of their contract. And then the strange things started happening. At night, Clara could hear footsteps outside her door, but when she checked, the hallway was empty. The grand piano in the parlour would release a single haunting note, though no one had touched it. Sometimes she swore she heard whispers drifting through the estate, soft, elusive, like secrets carried by the walls. One evening she found Lucas standing in front of a locked room at the end of the corridor. His hand rested on the doorknob, but the moment he noticed her, his fingers recoiled. Without a word, he turned and walked away. Something was wrong in this house. One stormy night, Clara woke to a sound that shattered her reality. A whisper, faint, distant, a man's whisper. She bolted upright, her pulse hammering. It was impossible. The only man in this house was Lucas, and Lucas could not speak. Or could he? Heart pounding, she followed the sound down the hall, her bare feet silent against the cold wooden floor. The whispering grew louder as she neared the locked door. She reached for the doorknob. It turned easily in her grasp. Inside, dust motes danced in the dim light, and at the center of the room, a single hospital bed. Clara's breath hitched. Someone was lying there. She stepped closer and gasped. It was Lucas. Pale, unmoving, his body hooked up to machines, his breathing shallow. A coma. But if this was Lucas, then who had she married? A shiver ran down her spine. Slowly she turned and saw him, the man she had been living with, the impostor. His grey eyes, so familiar, now gleamed with something dark. "Lucas," she whispered, her voice shaking. And then, for the first time in a year, he spoke. 3 words. "Run, my love." The voice was not hoarse or broken. It was strong, urgent, desperate. Clara's blood ran cold. Behind her, a machine beeped frantically. The real Lucas's heartbeat was changing. He was waking up. The impostor's face twisted. "You weren't supposed to find him." Clara stumbled back. "Who are you?" He exhaled, tilting his head, and then he smirked. His twin. Her stomach dropped. Lucas had a twin, a brother no one spoke of, a brother who had supposedly died years ago. The man before her had never been mute. He had been pretending. A groggy voice stirred behind her. Clara? The real Lucas. His twin's expression darkened. He lunged for her, but she was faster. She grabbed the nearest object, a metal lamp, and swung. The impact sent him staggering. "You won't steal his life!" she screamed. Security stormed in moments later, drawn by the noise. The truth unraveled in the aftermath. Lucas's twin, Daniel, had faked his death years ago. He had been living in the shadows, waiting for the perfect moment to steal his brother's identity. When Lucas fell into a coma, Daniel saw his chance. He silenced himself, assuming his brother's place, waiting to claim the estate, the fortune. And Clara. But Clara changed everything. Because of her, Lucas woke up. Because of her, justice was served. Lucas, the real Lucas, stood before Clara, his eyes filled with something she never expected to see. Love. "I never got to say this before," he murmured, "but I fell for you long before I could say a word." Tears blurred her vision as she whispered, "Say it now." He took her hands, pressing them to his lips. "I love you." This time, those 3 words meant everything. The silence was finally broken. And so was her heart, falling irrevocably for the man who had been waiting to love her all along. Thank you for watching. See you in our next video.